from pages to screens.
Collectibles and cultures like you have never seen. D1 and only spinning tales so grand. From Marvel to DC, she is a digital fan. Raven takes the stage with insight so keen. She brings a perfect balance to the entire team. Get your comics ready, your collection's on display. From action figures the fans love to play. The biggest pro steps onto the stage. With his joyful laughter, the fans are all the rage. From his comedic charm to his biggest heart, he brings the vibes from inside and out. He leads with love, and that's without a doubt. Welcome to virtual radio, where the fandom grows with D1 and only Raven, the biggest bro. We dive into comics from pages to screens. Comics and cultures like you have never seen. Get ready, kick back, and enjoy the show. This is virtual radio.
Hey everyone, good morning to everybody here. Welcome. We are going to be live streaming the Discord AMA with Raven. She'll be hosting and having guest on James Kuhoric from American Mythology. So we're going to go check them out right now and see if we're live. Stand by. Let's see.
Goodness. Also at the same time. Well, at least the candy drops over because it's done. So
yeah, so that took all of a minute. So cool.
Yeah. Oh, good on you for grabbing one. That's awesome.
Yeah, you know, I was like, oh, of course, because it got delayed, and I'm like, of course, it's right at the top of the show.
Yeah.
My goodness. Well, welcome everybody who's here. We'll get this going soon enough. Soon enough.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a couple of giveaways for today. Yeah. I'll tell you how you can get your chance at maybe taking one of those home. So we'll do that later. Josh was nice enough to give us 2 giveaways for today.
How nice of him. I take back everything that everyone says about him.
He has his moments. 3 would have been nicer, but I mean, you're live on YouTube. Okay, thanks, Dee. Yeah, our plan is to stream this through True Media for anyone who wants to catch the replay later. But like I said, we're just still waiting for James to show up and join the server. So, and give other people a chance to join as well. So he's new to the server, so it may take a few minutes for him to get verified and stuff to get in here.
Yep.
How did everybody do on the candy drop? Anybody grab a pack? Damon got one.
One. I just opened it. All core. So no high. None of the what are they? I forget what they call
rainbow ones. Is it rainbow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Couple of decent players from what I can see, but I'll go through it more later.
Just gonna take.
Oh, Onk's here. Gravy must be
2 bowls of gravy being served up today. And might have a chance.
A rare appearance here for me in the daylight.
Yeah, what's it feel like?
I don't know. I don't even know. I'm on my 2nd cup of coffee right now.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, I mean, we're going to be talking about American mythology, which is something that doesn't get sort of a lot of talk or visibility here on the app. So this is really good. You know, I obviously talk about it every week that they do drops on my Wednesday drop show, but other than like a little email blast or something, it's just not really discussed much because it's definitely one of the smaller publishers that we do, but there's some really fun stuff from them. I know certain of their comics have done decently, selling, over 100 of each. But a lot of them, could use some more eyes on them, which is part of the reason for this, as well as just we would love to see more and more, you know, creators and owners and managers and stuff from these publishers come in here. This is awesome.
Absolutely. I just finished this morning. I read Return of the Living Dead, the second issue.
Nice.
It's just a fun read. You just sit back and just fun.
Yeah, a lot of the
Kind of
comics for them are
silly.
just fun, so silly, or you know, or beautifully violent, and then silly in their way, just like a lot of those horror movies they're based on.
Yeah, a perfect mixture of all of that. Again, we're still
Absolutely.
just waiting here. Hopefully we'll get started soon. And it's funny, and of course I got common covers, which were secretly my favorite for the Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely. I mean, the Return of the Living Deads have one of the bigger artists for covers that the publisher uses. There's definitely a handful of known ones. That's definitely one of the more well known with the Mark Spears covers.
I was just trying to see if I had a picture of the covers, but this is the I'll show you the first cover. This is issue number 1, classic cover. We're back. I'm just seeing if all right, Josh is just letting James know that we're ready. So yeah, we'll just hang out.
Yeah, I think I have a good mint of that one. Let me see. I think I took a screenshot. Let's see. Yes, let's go.
I'm gonna log into my VV Comics here. New this week. I did like the cover for, it was new this week. Oh, what was it? It wasn't American Mythology. Oh, what was it?
Canadian Mythology.
It was, oh, here it is. What's this comic called? Raise the Dead. So that one's from
Oh,
Dynamite.
right. Yeah, that's Dynamite.
I like that cover. It's only a single, that's the only cover too. Just one cover. This one.
Which one? The one that released this week?
This week, number 3.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the Andy Warhol cover, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Nice, yeah. Yeah. There's just
I
so
should
much
have that.
stuff. There's so much stuff.
No, this one right here. We got lots of fun horror stuff, between the different publishers. Absolutely. But here, I'll take this one. I'm gonna delete that now because we're not talking about Dynamite today.
No.
We can talk about it, but it's not the focus.
This is my second cover. Where did you go?
Yes, Ankh Marlin. We went through we did trivia on that one in the drop show. I know you already answered on. Yeah, another one of the Mark Spears covers. Also, yeah, it's another one.
All right. It sounds like James is in the process of trying to join. So I think
Join Discord or
yes.
join.
Yeah, I think join Discord because I think you have to get some kind of verified first before you're allowed in here. So Josh is on it.
We got to keep out the rabble.
That's right. No spammers in here.
Yes, please no. Please no spammers. People have fun with the word balloon drop out of nowhere today for people. I saw a bunch of people were having fun either in the marketplace or minting them. Definitely saw people getting the SEs.
Yeah, I went against. Oh, what'd you get? Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't get any good rarities, but I did get a couple fun edition numbers.
I went against my rule of not buying anything till next Thursday. I did go for one, but I got the common. This is what we're talking about in the chat.
Oh yeah, if you haven't seen.
Yeah, there you go. So that'll be good for making some nice AR shots.
Yeah, I like the blank one, the thought bubble. That's the craft because, and when I did craft one, so I bought enough to craft that, and that's cool because I can put anything in the word balloon.
Yeah.
I can put like a collectible in there as the thing that whatever is thinking about, or a logo, or whatever. So that's fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of creative people out there. All right. I'm just, oh, hold on, Josh is, okay, Josh said he is in the Discord. He's been verified, so just give it a couple of minutes. And you should see him in here. Wonder if I can find him with the tag. Don't see anything yet. So yeah, guys, sorry, just wait a few minutes for James to get into the Discord. Yeah, we've got a couple of giveaways today. Stay
Yes,
tuned.
gravy incoming.
Yeah, lots of gravy. Yeah, we're gonna be talking some comics, publishing. I'd like to find out how James got started and all this craziness. You collected as a kid. That's, I think, my biggest question. And then hopefully we have some time for some Battlestar Galactica questions because
Look, I imagine, most people that end up being comic creators and writers and stuff, I'd be shocked if he didn't come up, reading comics when he was a kid.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, Claire's in the house. Hi, Claire. It's Harley herself.
Claire takes some amazing, looks like he's here, user Jack Steele. If you could request, can we send a request, or does the person have to request?
You can just put them on stage. You can just click on it and move them to the stage. I'll let you do it just so you can see how to do it.
I see community event stage. Is that
No. No, it should be VV event stage. If you click on him. Do you not have the permissions? I will.
Yeah, I don't know if I do. I just see it, open stage. That's all I see.
It should give all the stages.
Oh, there's a request. I see it. Oh, you sent it. Okay. So James, you should see a request there. Just accept.
There we go.
There we go. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Yay!
Hey,
We're so excited for this.
nice to meet you. Welcome.
Nice to meet you too. Sorry about the delay. I always have trouble with Discord for some reason. I use it a bunch, but every time I log in, I have trouble with it.
Yeah, this
No worries,
is one of those things. It feels scary at first, but usually it's not so bad. All right, I'm just going to jump in here with an intro and we'll get started if that's good with everyone. Sound good? All right, thanks everyone for joining. Welcome to the VB official Discord. I'm Raven along with my co-host Damon. We are both very excited to be hosting this exclusive interview with James Kuhoric. Whether you're a longtime comic fan, a collector, or just curious to learn more about the people behind some incredible stories, you're in for a great conversation. Today, we're joined by writer, editor, publisher, and lifelong comic creator James Kuhoric from American Mythology Productions. James, welcome to the VB official Discord.
Thank you very much. Great to be here. I appreciate everyone wanting to chat about all the new projects and see what American Mythology has coming up here soon.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've got, there's a lot happening in the space today, so we're multitasking. We've got, I just want to say thank you to TRU Media Group who's streaming this to YouTube so we can have a copy of it for a replay later for people that couldn't attend today. So that'll be available for us to watch later. But let's just dive right into it and get into the beginning of, are you a collector? Were you a collector as a kid? How did this all start for you?
Yeah, that all started as a kid. I my first comic book, I think, at age 10, and just fell in love with the medium and have been collecting for decades ever since.
Do you remember what that comic was?
I
The
do. In
very
fact, I
first
still
one?
have it.
You have it?
Yes.
That's awesome. 'Cause there's so many stories I've heard where people, they collected as a kid and at some point their parents threw out their comics and they were lost and then they started again, but you still have your very first comic. What was the title of that?
I do. It was an issue of Peter Parker and the Spectacular Spider-Man.
There you
Nice.
go.
In fact, I think I have 4 or 5 copies of it now because the copy I had as a kid is so destroyed from having been read and enjoyed for many years as a child.
Yeah.
Nice.
Reader copies.
Oh, yeah.
And anything else that you collected? Was it straight into comics or where that kind of opened the world for you? And
Yeah, that kinda opened everything up, really. I've dabbled in other things. I collect, RPGs and, toys and stuff like that, but comics was always my first love, and, for some strange reason, I've made a life out of it. So, I eventually have worked pretty much every different kind of job in comics you can have, from distribution, marketing, and editing, and publishing, pretty much everything over the years, and, it culminated in the, creation of American Mythology, which is my comic book company, and, one where I finally have the chance to tell stories that I personally have always wanted to tell.
and so is that what you felt like as a kid? Did you feel that there was the stories? What were those stories that were missing that you felt?
I was really into monsters all the
Mhm.
time, and so I eventually, really developed this love of horror over the years, and, tell a funny story. It began, when I was 8 years old, and, my aunt I had a fun aunt who was, only, you know, 11 years older than me, and
Mhm.
she wanted to take me to see a movie, so I was very excited because the first Muppet movie had just come out, and I wanted to go see the Muppet movie, and,
Okay.
she said, "No, no, 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 you don't wanna see the Muppets. We'll go see something all the kids your age are seeing." So she packed me into the back of her, Chevy Nova, and we drove to the drive-in and saw a double feature of Alien and the theatrical cut of Salem's Lot.
Let's go.
8 years old, that's what all the 8-year-olds are seeing?
That's what she said. I very clearly remember it.
Okay,
So,
good. Gotta
um,
trust that fun aunt. That's
yeah, yeah. I
awesome.
told her the story recently, like within the last 5 years, to see if she remembered. She did remember it, so it was pretty funny.
Those are the seminal moments, right? Those are the things that turn us into who we end up being, for better or worse, but we can always make it better. I grew up watching horror stuff well before the age that I should have, and I love my horror. So yeah, I could see that always.
Yeah, I
That's
always ask
great.
myself the question, what would my life have been like if I had actually seen the Muppets instead? But, I'll never know now.
That's true. Muppet Monsters. That's gonna be the next story.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, no, I was the same way too, where at a very young age, I was watching Freddy and Jason, and I remember there's that section in the video store that was all decorated like Halloween, but I wasn't allowed to go into, and I think that draw me to it even more.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, those are the classics. What was the first horror movie or well, other than the ones your aunt took you to?
I mean, that opened the door really
Yeah.
in the late '70s and early '80s were such a great time for horror. I mean, from Halloween to Phantasm to Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, just
Mhm.
a plethora of innovative and, soon to be the Mount Rushmore of horror, basically, from that timetable. So, I've got lots of great stories that no one wants to hear about sneaking into movies as a kid, but, I saw them all and, I still watch them all. They're among my favorite things to do when there's an opportunity to sit down and enjoy, a familiar film.
Mhm. I'm see, now I'm interested. What was your go-to sneak in?
My favorite
Show up
sneak in
late?
was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, okay.
There was a second run theater that ran, I think it was dollar movies back then. Um, and at that point, I was a very young teen, I think like 13. And I had the little tiny pencil mustache that you get when you're a teenage boy, and would try to get in, buying a ticket. And if they wouldn't let me in, then I would buy a ticket for something else and sneak in.
Nice.
Not to encourage anyone to be delinquent out there, but those were different times.
That they were.
Sorry, I was just thinking about I always wanted to see a horror movie in a drive-in, but I never got the chance. I feel like that would be a really cool experience.
Well, there's still a few drive-ins out there,
Yeah.
so you could still potentially do that.
Yeah, that's something I gotta look into. I feel like honestly, doing some of this research about you and like having you on this show. As a kid, again, I was so into the horror, the Freddy, the Jason, all that stuff. And then I shifted, I would say, in late high school to science fiction. I had an English teacher that was like, we're going to do a section on science fiction. Who here doesn't want to do this? And I basically raised my hand because I was like, no, I don't want to read science fiction. Had never done it before. Anyways, that book, Reading the Chrysalids, and I think it was grade 12 English, totally shifted my course of what I was into, and it was all became sci-fi, zombies, post-apocalyptic. So it's all fascinating. Do you have like a top, let's say, one or two book or movie in this genre that somebody coming into it, you have to see it, you have to watch it?
Top book or a movie? Well, I mean, top movie, you've got to go to those classics. I think the best all-time horror movie, just from a pure standpoint of being something that at the time was groundbreaking and really just almost perfect, is Halloween. That first Halloween movie is, it's absolutely a go-to. If you like something a little weirder, I really like Phantasm. It's just creepy and weird and out there, and a mix of horror and sci-fi. And the best part is once you watch it, you still won't even know what you watched. It's just so crazy. But that's classic. In terms of books, I love Stephen King. The Gunslinger is possibly the best novel ever written. If you haven't read The Gunslinger, that's a great place to start. Big Clive Barker fan.
Absolutely. One of my all-time favorites, and a great example of even much more so even than King for me, of where genre can be straight up literature. I always felt like Barker's a great example of really literature as sort of like Heinlein would be for science fiction, or a few other authors where it really feels like that. I went through a huge Barker period, absolute top tier.
Yeah, Clive is fantastic. Had the pleasure to meet him a couple of times, and just so original, such an amazing talent for visceral visuals. A pretty incredible painter too. If you haven't seen his work in painting, he's quite the artist. But
oh yeah, those Abarat books that he does all the illustration for are really cool.
Yeah, those. As a kid, I loved Books of Blood. Those were a great little anthology series. All the Hellraiser stuff, the expanded Hellraiser stuff, the Scarlet Gospels, everything that he's written, so skin crawling, like he makes you feel uncomfortable, and that's a great reaction to someone who's looking to enjoy horror novels. I also love Joe Hill. Joe Hill's great. Maybe the best ghost story I've ever read was a Joe Hill book. So if you haven't read Heart-Shaped Box, that's another wonderful book to start reading.
I'm writing all these down as you say them. So from this was obviously like part of your life from a very early age. How did this transition into a career for you? Did it start with writing, or?
It was 100% by accident. I put myself through college with the intent from a very early age to become a psychiatrist.
Okay.
So I got my degree, my bachelor's degree, and I was thinking about, where would I go for my grad studies, and a job just popped up. I mean, I'd been working, from our generation, you started working the minute you could. So I'd been working, well before 16, And at that point, I had taken a number of different jobs and done a few things in sort of that early counseling arena where you start to try to get your feet wet before moving into the big leagues of psychiatrist and or psychologist or a counselor. And a job had popped up at my local comic shop. It was a position with one of the distributors. And I thought, well, I have to work to afford to go to college, so I might as well get this job, and at least I'll be doing something I enjoy while I'm trying to take the next step of my education. And it just stuck. I got in, at a very low level. It's actually pretty funny. I think I was making about what a part-time worker at Burger King would make today. But I got into the job, and it started to give me some connections, and I started to see opportunities. And I ended up spending almost 20 years in distribution. I learned everything. I learned every aspect of marketing and distribution and promotion. Um, Everything you need to do sort of for the business end of comic books. And then I moved on to new things. I was an editor for Avatar. I did a lot of other work with him as well. We had incredible creators I got to meet, Garth Ennis, and just a whole list of fantastic writers. If you're looking for more great horror books, definitely check out Avatar Press's line of stuff, because they have books like Crossed that are just so creepy and so out there that they're definitely things that you'd want as a horror fan to have exposed yourself to. But they are extreme also. And then I worked, for other publishers, and I did another tour of duty with the distributor. So, I've been all around. And, eventually I just decided that it was time to do things my way. And that's why American Mythology was born. And I have been doing it for 10 years now. We're celebrating our big 10th anniversary this year of publishing.
Amazing. Yeah, I saw that you had a 10th anniversary comic for, was it Three Stooges that came out not long ago?
Yeah, Three Stooges was one of the first licensed properties that we got, and we've been publishing them ever since we started. So we did do a 10th anniversary of that. That was pretty exciting. The family that runs the Three Stooges is just wonderful. They're great. They've been incredibly supportive. They obviously love the Stooges as much as we do, and we've just had a lot of fun with them. I know that's a specific audience. You have to be actually, when you make comic books, there are a few different things that are really hard to do. One is humor. Like, it is really hard to have somebody laugh at a comic book, because it's such a subjective and personal thing to make someone really laugh. But you can look at something and realize it's supposed to be funny, but to actually be funny is a really challenge. And I think that we've hit that mark pretty well with the Stooges. Like, it's if you watch the Three Stooges and you enjoy the family-centric slapstick nature of it, we have tried really hard to capture that. And there have been some stories that I think do it really, really well. We have all kinds of different artists that do different interpretations, and we even brought back a very obscure cartoon from the 70s called the Robonic Stooges, which I do actually remember watching as a kid, but super obscure, where the Stooges were basically robot superheroes that they were like Inspector Gadget, sort of, like really incompetent robotic superheroes. And that was really fun and nostalgic for me, just because I remembered it, from my own Saturday morning cartoon escapades as a very young kid.
I was just looking into that, and I put on the side there in the chats the Robonic Stooges, and it looks like similar to a Marvel cover.
Oh, very specific, an homage to Fantastic Four #1. Hey-oh.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
This is a good opportunity, I think, to sort of lead into sort of, so I was, saying we got that comic recently, just sort of talking about, sort of American mythology on VV. So I run the weekly drop show at midnight Pacific on Wednesdays for all the new comic drops, Marvel and all the other publishers that we have. So every week I go through all the release, or every week that you guys do a drop, I go through all of your releases, show the covers, talk about the the stories, things like that. And we've been doing that now for quite some time. Well, since you've been with us, I've been doing that drop show for a couple of years now, and it's been really interesting to sort of see how these smaller publishers are able to reach a new audience, through VV. I mean, obviously, most people that are going to be on here are familiar with Marvel, some, lesser with Dynamite, and then even lesser with like you guys and Ablaze and a number of different smaller publishers. And I'm personally really happy to be able to put that out there for people. There's a lot of comics, right? And some sell more than others. And it's been interesting to watch what leads things to sell on VV versus in real life, things like that. Have you used our app before? Have you used VV? Do you hold any of your own stuff on there? Have you checked it out?
I do. I have a few things that I've purchased, most of which are Marvel. I guess that's not surprising.
Yeah.
But yes, I have used it. I do enjoy it. I think it's a fun app and a lot of interesting, really clever opportunities to collect unique things, which as a collector, that's always what you're looking for. Finding things that you've never seen or things that are unusual. So I enjoy it a lot. It's a lot of fun.
That's great. And now that leads me into, sort of a big thing that's constantly sort of in the conversation, which is, what is your take on sort of digital comics in general? They've been around for a little while, but not with, ownership, marketplaces, things like that. A lot of them are like Marvel Unlimited, where you just read whatever, but they don't come out on the release date. Like the idea of getting comics on their release date, hours before you can get them physical, or whether you can find them at all. But just what's your take on the digital comic space in general, as far as what you've seen?
Well, I'll tell you, I have had mixed experiences with digital in the past, and I'm not talking specifically comics, but you spend years putting together your digital videos, and then all of a sudden the app's no longer supported, and you lose everything.
Yep.
So I've always been very skeptical of digital, but I will say this: if I have the choice between collecting something that's not worth money and something that is worth money, I'd rather have the thing that is worth money.
Shocking.
And VV's approach, where you are owning a unique piece of the blockchain, to me is the future of digital collecting. Right, because if for the same price you can actually own something unique as what you would buy to just have, a readable download, that's clearly the way to go. So that part excites me a lot about what VV is doing. I think that.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
No, I was just reiterating that. I personally enjoy the fact that I can say I have one of however many of of something that was published. It feels more organic, like comic collecting. Like there are however many published copies of a comic book, and that number goes down over the years as copies are lost. But it's not just unlimited, So personally, I like that aspect of it a lot.
Very cool. I mean, I agree, other than some very limited covers, you never really know, or at least not without some research, how many of a physical comic are published, especially major releases. It's usually quite large. And so for modern comics, for us, it is definitely far far less, digital ones for us than actually exist in real life. And then obviously something that's huge in the community is then you get specific edition numbers, some of which make sense to the comics. Like let's say you had a Three Stooges comic. If you can get a number that correlates with the year that movie it's based on was released, or their first appearance ever, in movies or television, then those go for more money and or just more, people are more incentivized to collect them, things like that. Now, I think that you are uniquely postured to talk about sort of now in the last couple of years, the issues with distribution and how digital comics kind of alleviate those issues. So I was hoping you could speak to us a little bit about the Diamond distribution debacle. I know that it certainly, from what I know, nearly broke yours and a lot of other publishers because the system was so specific to sort of that, and the idea of almost a monopoly and things like that. So what is your sort of take on distribution, what happened, and how digital comics is changing or assisting in that issue?
Oh, that's a big question.
Sorry.
So I don't want to drag everyone down, so I'll try to keep this real brief. But basically, Diamond was the entry point to comic shops for all the publishers. And that includes the big guys, Marvel and DC and everybody else. And when they filed for bankruptcy, it created a hole in the chain, sending books from the publisher to the retailer. And it did hurt a lot of people, us included, both in access, being able to access the market, being able to get your books to the retailers. Also, just financially, they stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from people, stole money, stole inventory. It's a long and heartbreaking story to go through the whole thing. Suffice to say, we're still fighting the situation in the courts. But the good news is that, now that we're a year removed from sort of the event horizon of that particular issue, things are improving. Like there are other distributors, they are doing a good job reaching the retailers. It seems like retailers are having a renaissance in their stores. They're selling a lot of copies of the Absolute comics and several other things. And everybody has always known that the better the retail stores are doing, the bigger the opportunity for the small press. Because if they're doing gangbusters on Marvel and DC, then they have more money available to experiment and to give smaller guys an opportunity. So things are improving on that front in a lot of ways. But I think in terms of how digital impacts all that, is that the faucet for digital was never turned off. It was never disrupted. In fact, it's just been turned on sort of higher. So now you don't have to necessarily worry about being able to find a copy in a comic book shop. Maybe your local shop doesn't carry indies,
Yeah.
This is a way that you can just know that you can get your book. I'll tell you a very short story. I won't drag it down too much with this, but when I was young and I was collecting, there were, guys would put their order in for their Marvels and their DCs and whatever other bigger indies they wanted. I always ordered the old Now Comics Fright Night comics. And I was the only one in that store that ordered it. So basically, the comic shop only ordered one copy. They ordered for me. It was my personal comic book. So not only did I love it because, of course, it was based on possibly the best vampire movie ever made, but it was just for me. And that's sort of how I make American Mythology comics. I make them just for you. So as a consumer, as a reader, you're not going to find a million of my comics in a comic shop. You're not going to find um, super high priced back issues, other than a couple that are a little higher than others. What you are going to find are comics that are made for you. If you like horror, you like sci-fi, if you like the Three Stooges humor, um, those comics are for you. So if you check them out on VB, check them out at your comic shop, check them out wherever you find comics. I think you'll find that they're so lovingly made that they may speak directly to you. That's what we're trying to do. So I hope
Well,
that
I like how you you know, you talk about just for you, even not like the small amount that might be available in a shop, that you cover a lot of very niche fan bases. You know, like horror movies that some people just have like such a personal love for, that aren't like the Big Ten or whatever. You know, Silent Night, Deadly Night, My Bloody Valentine. You know, these things that, you know, those who love it just really have like a ingrained you know, thing to want to have, show off, read, you know, more about this stuff that they're very personally into. And I do love that you bring that to light, while a lot of other, you know, companies wouldn't take that risk.
yeah, it's the fun thing about owning a comic book company is that nobody stands in the way of me doing something. So if there's something I like and it's available, no matter how weird it is, and I've done some weird stuff. If you go through our whole catalog, um, I've thrown darts at some really goofball things, but I did it out of love, man. It's yeah, I love these particular movies, these particular genres, and I think we can do something fun. That will be my main driving force over any other option.
Very cool. Now that, you know, that being said, and unless you had anything else to add about the distribution side, I wanted to just sort of get into sort of things for your comics and all comics, you know, in the app, and sort of things that can be done differently because of the structure of EV and stuff. Did you have anything else to add about distribution?
No, no, it's like I said, I could talk for hours about what happened and why it happened, but honestly, I don't think that dwelling on that's helping anybody. So
No, no, no,
we're all just
absolutely
looking
not. It
forward.
absolutely not. I get that. It's merely just the sort of the tie-in between sort of issues with physical and what digital can bring was only my, you know, reason to bring that up.
Absolutely. Well, I still think that, like I said, the reason I am so enamored with what Vivi does is that it's not just digital. I'm not a huge fan of. It's digital and collectible. That's the
Yeah,
part.
agreed. Agreed. I've never been one to do these other digital reading things because, you know, I think that a lot of us have kind of burnt out on the subscription service thing, right? We used to just get TV, right? Now, in order to watch what you want to watch, you have to subscribe to 5 different services, and you don't really own your stuff, and so all these things. So yeah, absolutely. The collectible side of it and the ownership side of it. Okay, so one thing that I think really drives the market for VV, as well as just the fan base, because as much as I'd like to have this not be true, a lot of the people who collect in VV don't read the comics or don't read them that much. We have lots of comic readers, but we also just have collectors of covers, and speculative collectors, you know, which is fine. I want a balance of all these things. You know, I want it to be for everyone. But one thing that really drives the market, and you'll see it in the sales of your comics on VV, is covers. Whether it's an artist that's more well known, like the Mark Spears covers for The Return of the Living Dead, or whether it is your racy covers, for obvious reasons. People will go for these comics because they're blind box, so you don't know which cover you're going to get, and we have these variants, a maximum of 5, and you guys don't do that 100 variant cover thing. Most smaller distributors don't, or smaller publishers don't, you know, like Absolute Batman releasing 100 covers or whatever. So most of the covers you produce end up hitting the app. What is your take as far as your experience in the market, as far as certain artists, pushing forward sales on your comics in the physical realm?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an aspect to that. And I think the blind bag portion where you basically don't know what you're going to get is kind of a neat added little dopamine hit there, when you're
Yeah.
opening it up and finding out which cover you got. I think that's pretty cool. We don't do a ton of variants. I mean, we do variants. There's, as you've seen on our books, there's 2 to 4 variants on top of the main cover.
Yeah.
And certainly some artists do drive a little extra sales, but it's not as the difference between the A covers and the C covers, for example, isn't as big as you might think. Our print runs are pretty low. They're
Yeah.
If you can find hard copies of our books, you're doing something right.
Well, there's a lot. I've seen your stuff in the wild a few times, but yeah, it's not like a huge section, say, of a store, and the stores that support indie comics, more are more likely to have it. I feel like you also do a number of homages, and people like the homage covers. If it's something that they already like, things like that. I love in the here, I'll put it in the chat, like the Legend Fell ones that are straight up D&D homages. But then also just badass art covers. Like that series is really fun because I'm a role playing guy. I've run role playing games here in the Discord, and thank you, Raven, and had a lot of fun with this series because it's very purely that style of fantasy. But like these covers got me to go for the comic, and this comic hasn't sold a lot, but I love this personal one. But yeah, I mean, as far as say the movie poster versions of your horror ones are things that have gotten myself and other people to go for those, like this one here, for the Valentine's Day Bluff Massacre. That's the straight up poster for the movie. Stuff like that is definitely in our community. I think the covers and the variants drive it even more than in a lot of physical spaces, except for I'm not talking about Absolute Batman or whatever. I just mean in a more general sense, as opposed to the most type stuff. Now, I mean, that's good. Just, keep doing what you're doing with that. Obviously, like a lot of places, like we have artists that we have people who are just diehard collectors for. So whenever they see those artists, if ever you do stuff with artists that already have a following, in our community, they will absolutely sell more, because that's just the way of the collector market, right? So, you, I'm sure, have a stable of artists, but like with Spears, I guess you just bring in people for specific projects that are sort of less common. Now, the question is, like, is it worth it for a small publisher to try to get a bigger name artist financially? Have you tried to get some of the bigger name artists, or are you just sort of keeping it as that's not really your focus necessarily?
I think that I've reached out to a bunch of higher profile artists. It really just comes down to money. A lot of times when we get guys that are on the upper end of popularity, it's because they're excited about the project we're working on. They're a fan of whatever the movie is, or whatever the property is, and they're willing to work with us. But yeah, I love. Look, I'm an art collector too. I love some of these bigger name artists. I've had a chance to work with some great ones. We've had covers by Michael Kaluta, Greg LaRocque, mentioned Mark Spears, Tim Seeley, Kyle Hotz. I mean, there's just a bunch of fantastic guys we've already worked with. But I'm always open to new artists, and hopefully, There's a few other kind of grail artists that I personally really love that I'd love to get a chance to work with. We'll see if any of that comes to fruition. But I like giving I like giving new artists an opportunity too. This is a chance for brand new creators breaking into the market to get on a book that's recognizable. So I do a lot to try to reach out to new creators, and we do have a couple of guys that we just work with all the time, who are phenomenal. Like Buzz and
Absolutely.
Sean and
I've definitely
Roland.
seen you definitely have a stable of a number of artists that I see over and over, which is, great. There's a lot of loyalty there. Are you going to be at either of the big Comic Cons this year?
I'll probably be at New York. I'm not going to make it to San Diego. Of
Oh,
course,
good. Well, I live in New York, so I look forward to seeing you there.
yeah.
Obviously, I'm sure that's a good time for you to schmooze with artists. There's definitely a number that we all have our ones that we would love to see. If I was to say one, like go say hi to Rose Besh and see if you can get her to do a cover.
She's awesome. Yeah.
I love artists that have their own style, and that's definitely one. But I digress. Just so that we don't take up too much time here, one of the last major things I want to talk about is one thing that the digital space in comics that we do that I think adds a lot of value to the digital space is utility based on the comics, and that is quite variable in what it could be. So we have especially we get this done from smaller publishers that are more willing to do interesting stuff. Where, say, if you collect all the rarities of a comic, you get an airdrop, or you can craft the comics into a collectible, like a poster of an unreleased cover, or even a full-on 3D, collectible. Like in the case of, say, for you guys, it might be like, again, like a different variant of a movie poster that you can get if you collect an entire thing. And we see that driving a lot of sales on comics that wouldn't otherwise. Oh yeah, Raven, there you go. So there was a one of one art piece that we did from you guys as well. That's a different thing that can be done from your artists. But yeah, so there's lots of things, whether they are, again, airdrops, crafts, and they can be collectibles or other covers to the comics. And we've had the smaller publishers like Bad Idea, 24/7, Addiction, like a lot of these comics that have done these with us. What do you think about, because that's obviously very different than physical. What are you going to do? Bring 5 covers to your comic shop and he gives you a comic that you didn't otherwise have. So this is its own sort of whole thing. Do you think that's something that you would be interested in doing through VV? And out of curiosity, off the top of your head, is there anything that you think would be really cool that you could do in that way?
Yeah, no, I love that idea. Like I said, anything that delivers additional collectability to fans I'm all about that. So I love that. I'm certainly willing to do that with just about anything. Let's talk about what we can do and see if we can't get something fun out there for the
absolutely.
awesome fans that are supporting the stuff.
Our new comic sort of head, Granola, as well as Stella, the head of the comics in general, hopefully can talk to you about that in future. Because I mean, not just the coolness of it, but on your end and on Vivi's end, for very obvious reasons, it drives sales. And it often drives sales on things that would otherwise not see much in the way of sales. Because of people wanting these scarce items. Because at the most, say if it's based on a full set, since our secret rares, the most scarce of them usually only have 40 editions, and that's before VV holds back a few. There can ever only be, say 36, 37 of whatever you craft or get airdropped. So these are very scarce things that people want to collect. And if they're things like monsters that are more generally loved, like you get a Dracula, people are going to be all hyped for that. Or if it's a movie that they love, stuff like that. So just something to think about, because that is a big driving force in our collectible base. So yeah, I mean, Raven, do we have a timetable here to finish up? I don't want to push too far.
Yeah, I'm not sure, James. How are you for time?
I'm doing okay. I
I don't know
have a
if we want to
couple
go
other
too
things I
long.
can tell you about that are kind of exciting.
Yeah, I wanted to leave room for that. So I think that as far as the comics on the site and sort of the things we do and sort of options for the future, I think that's pretty general. The last question I'll leave you with then before we move along, we do a giveaway and you can talk about the cool stuff coming. I would say, do you see sort of the shift to digital? I mean, I know that like NFTs became a bad word, right? Because of a lot of people getting non-IP trash stuff that never should have had the value it should have had, all speculation and things like that. But what do you see for the future of digital comic collecting? And as an addendum to that, what do you see as the future of physical comics and sort of how that's heading?
Oh gosh, what a question. What do I see for the future? I mean, I think that the digital comic stuff we talked about specifically is the future. I think that the limited editions, the collectability. I think that as we continue to evolve, we're going to actually get more interfaces that make it feel like you're um, reading and collecting physical items in the digital world. Like I think that interfaces will be more uh, interactive with you being able to like flip through
Yep.
the books is sort of as if you were doing it physically. But yeah, I think there's a lot of fantastic stuff forthcoming. And you guys seem to be right on the cusp of developing and really bringing out kind of these innovative opportunities and interfaces. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. But that'd be my guess. That'd be what I'd hope for. And with regard to new comic books, I think that we'll have an opportunity to announce some new stuff and some new properties that I think are going to make people pretty excited that are coming up for next year. And my hope is that as we continue to evolve together, comics and digital realm, that we'll be able to do even more crazy, innovative things together. So that's my hope for the future. And the way things are changing, I'd imagine in the next 10 years, we'll see a lot of really wild things developing.
Awesome. So, now to kind of get into what you were saying about things that are coming, if we're talking about the future, what's coming? What you got cooking?
I got some great stuff. I wanted to take a second to talk about the past, though. I saw somebody pop up a note about Battlestar Galactica. I just wanted to say thank you for mentioning that. That was my first comic. My first opportunity to write in comics was with Battlestar Galactica many, 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 many years ago. So I appreciate that they remember that. Oh, and the $6 Million Man. Thank you. Yes, that was absolutely one of my favorites.
Here, I'll put this up again. I put this up before, but here, according to League, are the comics under your name. So people should go ahead and take a look, and that'll include, those comics as well as many, many, many others. You've been a busy man.
Can we take a moment to talk about Battlestar? Because
Sure.
when I found out that you had written, like it's a 5-issue series, I'm going to try my hardest to go find these in the comic book store. But so this basically, you wrote these after, in the time between the original series and just before the newest series had come out. So how did this happen?
We had the opportunity to work with Richard Hatch, who was the gentleman who played Apollo in the original series. He was fantastic. I miss that guy. He was everything you could hope for. I say don't meet your heroes, but he was just creative and supportive and intelligent and just a wonderful, wonderful guy. And we worked with him. We talked about different things that we wanted to do in the comics. We did all kinds of crazy stuff in those books too, if you can find them. They were from a company called Realm Press, which I think we published for 3 years. I think it was 3 years. And we did quite a few of the Battlestar books, and those were so much fun. But yeah, if you can find them, they're great books to collect. They're fairly low print run, 3 years old at this point. Hard to believe.
So was that
Um,
harder to write since there was already an existing series? Or was
I
it
mean,
easy?
if you look at the list of stuff I've done, that's kind of been my wheelhouse. Is that
Right.
I grew up in that television age, and I loved these series, and I just got deep into them and started to tell my own stories. And some of my favorite memories are working on those books. They just were so much fun to play in those worlds, Battlestar and $6 Million Man and Stargate and all of the Army of Darkness and Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. These are just things that I've loved over my entire life. And when the time comes for me to write something based on these particular properties, I basically go into deep research mode, and I just watch them over and over and over. I think I watched every Friday the 13th, Evil Dead, and Nightmare on Elm Street movie like 20 times when I was writing that series, just to get in the minds of all the characters.
Right.
Um, and it doesn't hurt that I love those movies. I mean, they were, they're easy to watch, but the more you watch like that, the more you pick up little things, gestures and um, body language and little tiny details and little tiny callbacks. And I try to put those all into the comics. I try to give fans what they really want, which is more of that. You know,
That's awesome. No, that's why I'm excited to find these comics to see those connections. Did the new series take stuff from the comics that your 5 issues and bring it into it?
the new Battlestar. Oh no,
Well, the one that came after, I guess, your comics.
no, I don't think so. I mean, Moore really took Battlestar in a different direction from what the original series was. And his series was fantastic. I loved it.
Mhm.
It was different, but it was really great. Just phenomenal character development and drama. So no, it didn't really have a lot to do with the original. But I do think that for fans who enjoyed the original series and wanted just a little bit more, those comics will definitely fill the role for you. I think they're very lovingly created. They're most of them are painted. They're actually hand painted by Pascal, who's just an amazing artist. Uh, and those comics were made the old way. Like there was no there was no digital creation or digital assets being put together. Those were physically painted, um, got on film, and then done with layer overs for your lettering. I mean, it just the oldest of old school techniques. It's really amazing that those comics even got made back then, as hard as it was to make that stuff, comparatively to today. But definitely check it out if you can find them. They're a lot of fun. I don't think you'll find them digitally anywhere unless somebody has them scanned up on like a pirate site or something. But they're a lot of fun. They're raw. Forgive me, they are the first things I've written, so they're also a little, a little below what I would expect from myself today. But with that said, they're still written with so much love, and I think you'll get that when you start reading them.
Yeah, I'm on a mission to find them. I will find them.
They're not super expensive. They're just hard to find.
But that's the fun part too, right? Like I like that idea of going to the comic book store and I'm on a hunt for something. Not just that, easy thing right on the shelf in front of me. I want to look for it. So
Well,
I'll let you
awesome.
know. I'll let you know how I make it.
Good luck. I did actually find some recently, so I will say they
Yeah.
are out there.
Okay.
I found, I think, 7 issues from the Realm Press run that were in dollar boxes. So I was happy to scoop those up and reread them.
All right, Damon, where would you like to go next? I really
Well, I
I'm
think
so
that
happy we
in
talked
talking about the
Battlestar.
future stuff, should we talk
Yes.
about the exclusiveness coming? That's up to
Or
him.
I don't know what can be said or not said yet. I know an article is supposed to come out at some point to explain stuff, but I have limited knowledge, so I don't know.
I think you're talking about the exclusive drop. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm
Obviously, we could use this as alpha for the community. We don't have to get however much detail that you want to give. I guess there's no reason why we shouldn't, get people hyped up since we've got people here for this specific thing. That's my
Yeah,
take.
absolutely. Sure. So we've got an exciting drop coming up for a comic book that is very near and dear to my heart. It is, you remember I said a little bit that monsters are sort of my thing. I love monsters. American Mythology did a series called Monster Tag Team that was influenced by the old Marvel team ups and such. But the twist on this, of course, is that monsters can never get along, so they end up fighting. But the series was a lot of fun, and people really seemed to enjoy it. We put a lot of different monsters into it, and the results were really pretty enjoyable. So we started thinking, what can we do to really do something to up the ante on Monster Tag Team? And we came up with this idea of a sort of homaging Mortal Kombat and Contest of Champions and all these sort of round robin battle royale type stories. And what we came up with is Contest of Creatures, which is going to be an exclusive drop on VV. It is a over the top crazy monster brawl. And basically the monsters are just really out there. Like they're creepy, they're weird, they're unusual. They're not your usual monster fare. And I think that I think fans were really going to enjoy this thing. It's something special. We were going to put it out in comic shop last year before the whole Diamond thing happened, and basically because of us having a reset after dealing with that, we talked about in the distribution. We thought that it might be fun to do something very different with this, and so we're going to do an exclusive drop with VV. And if you haven't had a chance to check out Monster Tag Team, check that out. That'll kind of give you an idea of what you're in for. But this series is it's just fun. If you love monsters and you've had you've enjoyed different horror comics and stuff, I think this is the kind of comic that comes out of nowhere. It's built for the fans, and I think you'll really enjoy what we've put together. Self-contained, introduce you to everyone you need to know, and you'll go on the wild ride with our main monster who has to try to make his way through this crazy tournament of creatures.
And we
Like,
do have currently on the VV Comics site Monster Tag Team Dracula versus Werewolf #1, as well as Boogeyman versus Scarecrow #1. So if anybody wants to check those out, they're
Yeah,
gonna be-
Raven showed the all the variants for that up in the chat.
Yeah. So yeah,
But yeah,
that's coming, and it's very exciting. It should be a lot of fun. It's just what we were talking about. It's a chance for the digital collector to really enjoy something unique and just for you.
Nice.
Absolutely, and it's exciting. Look, we love exclusive. We love getting stuff sort of before it hits the market. During the Diamond debacle, we were occasionally getting things before they hit the market physically because they were supposed to, but then they got delayed. So every once in a while, especially from the smaller publishers, we were getting stuff that that was before it was available. And, you know, that drove at least a little sales to those, because just that idea of being literally the first one to be able to get it sometimes by weeks was very cool. So we love our exclusive stuff at VV. So this is exciting.
Yes, very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited too. It should be a lot of fun, and I hope that all the monster collectors out there really enjoy it.
Absolutely. And this one does have a racy cover as well. It's funny. I always talk about the fact of, do I show them edited online? You know, in Discord, because normally I run my show so late that, you know, it's a late night show for at least the US, you know, and our hangups. But just, I mean, you can go to the link I did, but just an example kind of your racy series. It's funny too that you call them racy. I don't know if I've seen others call theirs racy. I don't know if that's an industry standard name for covers like this, but I always found it entertaining that they were called racy covers.
Yeah, it's not an industry standard. It just seemed apropos. It's funny, we don't do a lot of those, but they're popular for some reason.
I joke about it. Gee, I wonder why.
It's a mystery to me, but you know, give the fans what they want. So
absolutely, and again, that we see it push sales for those comics. So regardless of the of people's feelings, it does absolutely sell comics for us here. Well, that's really cool and really exciting that that's coming in the future. Obviously, everyone in the audience, just look out for an announcement from Vivi about that. Yeah, Team After Hours, that's valid. Yeah, I mean, if you're ever awake at midnight, or actually 11:30 Pacific, to come into the Discord, come to the drop show on a week that you guys have your comic releasing. Now, it doesn't release at that time. Yours, as well as all the non-Marvel ones, actually release at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. That's, you know, again, all of our publishers outside of Marvel. But would always love to have you. So feel free to drop by, especially on a week when your stuff is releasing, because we will be talking about them during the show.
I might do that. I have to set my alarm for 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I can't do it. Sleep's too important for me. But,
wait, what's your time zone?
Eastern.
Okay, so it starts at 2:30.
Yeah.
2:30 Eastern it starts. The Marvel drops at 3, and then a little bit after that we talk about the other thing. Yeah, 3:30 would be fine, because that's about when we usually start talking about the other publishers. But yeah, please feel free to come in on a week that you guys are releasing on the app. Would be really great. Yeah, what's sleep again?
I will see about coming in once in a while.
Please. All right, Raven, besides gravy, is there anything else that we should ask?
I mean, I feel like I could talk. You do everything. Like, I would really like to get into the process of publishing, but I know we're kind of running late on time, so we can always get into some giveaways. And I feel like through this conversation, we have been able to learn a lot about you and what's coming next, past, present, future. We did touch on a little bit of everything, but maybe we can take a minute here, and give away a digital collectible from Vivi.
I wanted to also say, if you want to schedule some other conversation about a deeper topic in the future, just let me know. We'll figure that out.
Absolutely. I would love to have you back around Halloween.
Hey,
I think that would be an amazing
it is my busy season, but I'll take away some time from watching movies too.
Okay, well, let's do some horror trivia. I've just got a few questions here. We'll do, I think it's like 12 questions. First person in the chat, you got to be fast. Spelling matters. I'll do my best to let you know how many words I need as an answer, but if you guys are ready, here we go. First question. In Halloween 1978, what is the name of the masked killer? 2 words.
Oh, that's too easy.
Too easy. There's you got to be fast. See, now this is where I got to check the spelling here. I think that one goes to Steph, even though she added an extra S. Still, I'm going to give that one to you, Steph. That's one. All right. What is the name of the camp where the original Friday the 13th takes place? 3 words.
You're doomed. You're all doomed.
Oh, 3 words. Oh, Steph. Nice. Camp Crystal Lake. Steph with 2 points. Which horror franchise features the Necronomicon? 2 words. Is he typing? Hellraiser, no, incorrect. I say that right? Necronomicon.
That is correct.
2 words.
Necronomicon Ex Mortis.
The Necromancer, no, Hank. That's
You're
not correct. It is not
Flatu
sleeping.
Barata Nictu.
Oh, come on, guys. 2 words.
Wow, come on.
There we go. Hank.
I'm like, we
There-
have these comics from Dynamite.
I know it's for a collectible. I don't want to give too many hints. All right. Which Stephen King novel features the haunted Overlook Hotel? 2 words.
Oh.
It's easy. Bates Motel. No, sorry. Oh,
Another
Secret
clue.
Rare. The Shining.
That reminds me, I need to watch that again.
Oh, always.
I have such a huge wish list on all these streaming services. Okay, get ready for this one. In Battlestar Galactica, what is the famous F word? So there are 2 spellings. I want the most current spelling. Oh, there we go. D. I would have been so upset if D didn't get this because she actually says this in everyday life. She uses this term all the time.
Is that Felger Carb? Oh no, I'm sorry. That's the other F one.
What the frack? All right. That one goes to B. Just a couple more questions left here, guys. Okay, this one might be tough for spelling. We might need some Googlers on this one. What is the name of the demon in The Exorcist? 1 word.
Oh.
That's the toughest question you've asked.
Yeah. Mona? No. Wow. Hey. Nice job. It is Pazuzu.
Of course Keo got that.
Too late, though. Hank had it first.
Oh shoot. And, apparently Ankh is was right on Google.
Yeah. He's ready. All right. We've got this collectible on Vivi. What color is Chucky's striped shirt? What colors? Sorry. Looking for
Yeah,
3 colors. Blue and white and red. That is correct. Just let me make sure. I believe Ronnie said it first. Add you to the board, I think. Oh, we're tied. Ank and Steph are tied. All right, just let me get Ronnie on here. We've got, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more questions. What is Ash's shotgun nickname? 1 word.
That's a
Ash's-
fun one. Oh,
there we go.
yep. This is my boomstick.
Hank taking the lead. Okay, next one is a 2-word answer. Who is the main villain of the Hatchet films?
Oh.
The main villain, 2 words.
I have a bunch of those comics from Mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Victor. Oh, sorry, Hank. Check your spelling.
Keo with the steal.
Keo stole it. Nice. Keo on the board.
I don't know that Victor's really the villain. He's just misunderstood.
Oh,
Of course.
all right. What state do the Hatchet films take place?
That's a good one.
State? Michigan. Oh, man. Louisiana. Goes to Steph. Oh, we've got a battle between Steph and Anchor. This is an easy one. What is the weakness most associated with werewolves? What is their weakness?
Fleas and ticks.
Silver. That is right, Ronnie. Last question. What year was the original Night of the Living Dead released? B. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to make me have a tiebreaker. It was 1968. Okay, hold on. We've got Steph with 3, Ank with 3, Secret Rare with 1, D with 2, Ronnie with 2. Let me double check. And Keo with 1. James, would you like to give us a tiebreaker question?
What are we giving away?
We're giving away a VV digital collectible.
Is it one of ours? American Mythologies?
No, it'll be. It won't. I don't think it'll be a comic. It's usually a collectible.
Okay. How about we just give them all a free American Mythology item, one of our comics?
Can we do that? I don't know if we can do that.
The only thing I know, they don't usually give away the green site comics, so I can't speak to that possibility. Maybe we can work on that for a future talk giveaway.
Okay.
I don't want to step on any toes.
And how about this for a question?
Okay.
What is the name of the main villain of the Phantasm movie?
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't know the answer, so you'll have to let me know if somebody says it. Is it Dr. Doom, the tall man?
It's the tall man.
Tall man. Yeah.
That's the answer?
Yep.
Ank is the winner. Nice.
Oh man, gravy boy got his gravy boat.
He did. He likes winning those giveaways. Congrats, Ank. Please open a support ticket to claim your prize.
He definitely knows the drill. It's every day he's wishing and hoping.
I do have a random question for you, actually, because I tried Ask Granola the other day because I really wanted to read the Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, but apparently it's a different publisher, so we can't get that one. But if you could spend the day with one of those characters, which would it be and why?
Well, the funny thing is I've spent most of the day with each of those actors.
Awesome.
So I have actually met all 3 of them. But which character would it be from those movies?
Mm-hmm.
Assuming they don't want to kill you. Assuming they're not trying to kill you.
They're not trying to kill you. Just
yeah. I mean, I guess it would have to be Ash.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
it's a hard choice between him and Freddy, but I think it'd be Ash.
Yeah, I mean, it would never be Jason. He's not a very good conversationalist.
See, that was my pick because then he could just sit there quietly, like he wouldn't bother me. It'd just be a nice, quiet day.
Yeah,
that's very funny.
That's true.
So, all right. Okay, we'll do one last giveaway. A rumble which is basically we just fight each other to the death. It's an automated bot. Damon, by chance, do you have the zombie one?
The zombie what?
Rumble.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So let me put that up.
I don't know if you've seen these rumbles before, James, but it's this automated bot that tells a story, and we all kill each other, and whoever survives.
I think story might be pushing it, but It's just a murder spree. So everybody
Okay.
go ahead and cross the swords in the chat. If you are the one to off one of the hosts or any other VV team member or mod that happens to be in there, you get a bonus of VXP. Other than that, the big winner will be the one who takes home the second collectible.
Nice. Question, James, for you while we're waiting. Coffee or energy drinks while you're writing?
You know, I don't really do either.
No.
Yeah, so I like a soda every now and again, or a pop, as they used to say, from where I came from.
Coke or Pepsi? Dr. Pepper?
Coke, you know.
Okay. Let's see. I got a couple other random questions for you here while we're waiting for this. If you could watch only one movie for the rest of your life, which would it be? I feel like you've already pretty much watched Freddy and Jason almost a max amount of times, but
Yeah. Wow, only one movie for the rest of your life. Gosh, there's so many. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe Halloween. I don't
Yeah,
know. That's
your
hard.
go-to.
There's so many that if you said 10, I could probably narrow it down to 10.
That's easier.
One is
Yeah,
tough.
right. Okay, then how about this? If you could only watch one franchise.
One franchise.
That's pretty broad. You could say any of the Friday the 13th, Alien, whatever it is. Or Halloween, Because they're not always, because sometimes it's the first movie or one of the movies, has a sweet spot for you, but you don't love a franchise as a whole or a lot of the later movies or things like that. So if you could only do one overall. Oh, wait, here we go. Hold on. Hold that
The
thought.
killing has begun. Ronnie was eaten by roving cannibals. Dr. Tolkien drank some contaminated water.
Akash has a shotgun. Ridiculousness. Oh, sorry, Fast Eddie. I set a trap for the zombies, but you found it first.
Oh, Damon, if you win this.
Well, then we run it again.
Ellie stepped on a nail and got blood poisoning.
Oh, sorry, Keo. Didn't end well for you, it says. 5 left.
So weird. Did you see what Akash did? Akash shoved the shotgun into VV Collective's mouth and painted the wall red.
I mean, that's a quick way to paint. Oh man.
David,
I'm on a murder spree.
I know, I'm thinking Payday might take this. When Pokemon.
Oh my goodness, it's when Pokemon out of nowhere. The one and only kill for the win.
There you go.
Congratulations. All right. So let's return to that question. One franchise that you could only watch for the rest of your life. That could include TV shows in addition to the movies as well.
I'm gonna say a terrible answer, but probably Star Wars.
Oh,
that just, I feel like, shifted the whole.
I know. I did not expect that answer.
I just can't imagine a world where I can't watch A New Hope again. So probably that.
I get it. That's a bit. Trust. I mean, VV. If there's anything that has a huge fan base on here, beyond Marvel Comics, it's definitely Star Wars. Yeah. We have so many Star Wars collectibles and comics, and they are always top tier for popularity.
I have one more random question before we get out of here. Your favorite underdog story?
Like actual underdog?
Underdog story.
Like the actual guy, he's like, no, that's very funny. He was joking, meaning the actual cartoon character underdog.
Oh, jeez.
Because I do actually know quite a few underdog cartoons. My favorite underdog story, gosh, I mean, I guess it's Evil Dead with Ash as the underdog.
Mm.
I don't.
Oh, that's a good take. I didn't even think of that. He is absolutely an underdog.
Yeah, Ronnie Lido said Rudy. Oh, that's a good one.
Rudy, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen that in a while. Yeah, I think that's all we got for today. I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm excited to
Absolutely.
see what comes next.
Yes, thank you so much. This was a pleasure. Obviously, like I said, come see us again. Come to the drop show if you can, and really looking forward to what's to come.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you, and thank everybody who popped in to hear what I had to say. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoy our comics, and I really did mean it when I say I make them for you. You know, we want you to enjoy and love them, and check them out. I'm sure you will. So, thanks so much. See you all later.
All right,
Thank you, and everybody go ahead and check out the American Mythology comics available both in the marketplace and on the green site.
And the website is in the chat. I'll throw that in there as well. All right.
Oh,
Have
beautiful.
a great one, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in the funny pages.
The virtual radio where the fandom grows with D1 and only Raven, the biggest bro. We dive into comics from pages to screens, comics and cultures like you have never seen. Get ready, kick back and enjoy the show. This is virtual radio.